All right, so here we are. I am excited for this year. 2025 should be awesome. So let me get you up to speed with how this story started. So last year I opened up a prop firm account, traded in the funded account, and then they called me up to a live account, and then traded on a live account, took some payouts, ups and downs, all that good stuff. Ended the year in profit last year. So this year I'm going to be starting off with my live account with Top Step is the prop firm I'm with, and I'm going to be starting that account with $3,000 in it. There's going to be a few things that's going to happen along the way this year, like taking payouts, rolling those into discount brokers like Ninja Trader to be able to grow those profits in Ninja Trader. And I may even look at some other prop firms that are on my radar that might maximize my profitability. But before we can do any of that, we have to build a winning trade plan. And I need to put together the tools that'll help me become successful. All right, so I wanted to do a short overview of how I created my trade plan for 2025. Your trade plan is personal, and it needs to fit you as an individual. I don't think you can copy somebody else's trade plan and be successful. So the goal of this video is to show you what I use to create my individual, personalized trade plan. I will not be showing you the details that make up my custom personal trade plan. I think that would be a disservice to you. But I will be showing you some of the things that I consider when I'm developing my trade plan, like my scaling ladders, my scaling ladder tool, my backtest tool, and how I use those. So one thing is, if I tried to show you every detail of how I create a trade plan in this video and like all the stuff that goes into it, this would be like a 10-hour video. I'm trying to keep this video around the 30-minute marker if possible. So I'm just giving you the highlights and the basics that I think you need to know when you're looking at creating your trade plan. But there's enough valuable information in here to give you some ideas the next time you create a trade plan for yourself. Traders. Trading is an individual thing. I don't think you should copy anybody. Don't copy me, don't copy anybody. You need to be able to put together your own toolbox, create your own thing, formulate your own thing that's custom to you, that fits you. This video is meant to spark thought, not to give instruction. I'm just showing you what works for me, and it might not work for you. So I can't, and I won't, tell you what to do. I can only share what works for me, and what you do with that information is up to you. All right, so first, a trade plan is very different than a strategy, and I hear a lot of people on the internet saying that they're the same thing. They're not the same thing. A trade plan is your GPS, it's your roadmap, it's your pathway to the thing that you want to achieve. The strategy is a vehicle that you use to travel that trade plan, to travel that path. So if you're going off-road, you need an off-road vehicle. If your path takes you through the ocean, you need a boat. So you have to have the strategy that fits your trade plan, or I don't think it can work. All right, so what is a trade plan? A trade plan is your business plan. It tells you what the cost of doing business is going to be. It tells you what times of day and what days of the week that you can trade. It shows you your projected growth and when you can take profits. It tells you what broker and trading tools you need. It identifies key metrics about you and the markets and how they can and need to work together if you're going to be successful. It identifies your PLG, your personality, your lifestyle, and your goals. This is probably the most important, critical element of a trading plan, your PLG. If you don't know what your personality, your lifestyle, and your goals are and how they relate to trading, it's going to be a rough road. But most traders have to get in the markets, sim trade to start to discover what their PLG is. You might know what your lifestyle and goals are, but the time frames, are they realistic with the markets and what you think can and will happen? Maybe not. Your personality, how are you going to react in certain situations? Really hard to know that until you actually get into it, especially when you start trading with real money. But when we create our trade plans, we create a base of our personality, lifestyle, and goals. And then as we get into sim trading and real market conditions and real money trading, we constantly reflect, take notes, and go back and make adjustments to our trade plan based on the discoveries we make when we're trading. And a lot of those are going to relate to your PLG. Your trade plan gives you the tickers and requirements that your strategy will be built on if it will succeed. That's right, your trade plan can tell you what tickers you need to trade. You might go to the market and say, I want to trade the NASDAQ. But your trade plan might say, no, NASDAQ's not for you. You should be trading Bitcoin futures. it's going to lay out those things, because once you've put all the stuff together in your trade plan, you're going to see what your personality is, what you can afford, what you can't afford. There's a whole bunch of different things that go into what strategy you need to build. And a lot of times I think the mistake we make as traders is we come up with this idea like, ooh, I'm going to trade on the 1 minute candle, and I'm going to trade the NASDAQ, and I'm going to just make like $10,000 a trade. And we start thinking about all those things rather than saying, what is right for me? And when we do our trade plan first, we can see what's right for us. Then we can build the strategy, right? We need to have the vehicle to fit the path. And that vehicle might not be the NASDAQ. It might be something else. It might be wheat. It might be gold. It might be something else. Again, our trade plan will give us all that information. All right, so let me show you basically the process I use in creating my trade plan. Really quick, high level, try to get to you around the 30-minute marker. And I use a tool to do my trade plan. I don't just get a blank sheet of paper and start writing. I have a tool that helps me stay focused, allows me to plug in all the necessary information that I know I need to create my trade plan for me. And some of those tools you'll get to see here, again, like my calculators, my scaling ladders, backtest blocks, all those different kind of things, why I use them, how I use them, and stuff like that. All right, let's get into it. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm going over here to simpleswitch.teachable.com, link provided in the description below. And this is the page you'll see. And then I'm going down and there's all the information right here on the My Strategy Manager. And it's a tool that I use to build my trade plans and my strategies. You do have to have Microsoft Excel in order for this tool to work, because it is an Excel workbook. So, and if you have Microsoft Word and Outlook and all that stuff on your computer, you probably have Microsoft Excel as well. Or if you have the Microsoft Office suite, then you probably have Microsoft Excel as well. But anyway, so coming down here and then purchasing this workbook, it's $50, $49.95. And then it comes with instructions on every page. You can even preview them to see exactly what each page looks like and what it does. But purchasing this workbook and then getting started building my trade plan. Okay, so purchased the workbook, downloaded it, and then I saved it as a different file name so that if I do anything weird, I don't mess up the original download. It's sitting there safe on my computer. I can always jump over to it. So I saved it as a new file name right here at the top here. 2025 My Strategy Manager, Prop Firm Trading. And then I went and built out a folder. I put that in a folder and then built out that folder with the strategy picks, thumbnails, trading charts, and CV files. And I'll show you in a little bit here why I have CV files here, trading charts, and all these. Why did I put these 4 folders in here, and how will they play a role in my trading throughout the rest of the year? I'll show you that a little bit later. But first up is to build this out. All right, next thing that I did is I went over to, and I signed up with them, and I signed up with their gold plan. Click over there real quick. I signed up with this gold one because it gives me all the information that I need to track my trades and be able to really analyze what strategies are working, what parts of them are working, and deep dive what's going on. So because if my strategy is failing, I want to know why so I can fix it. Or maybe my account is failing and I'm trading a couple different tickers with some different strategies and I want to see where the faults are. Well, the gold membership gives me the tools I need to use to be able to really analyze what's happening with them and identify some of those faults, because they might be real subtle. And it's like, well, my account's not doing as well as I expected it to do. And I can come in here and do a quick analysis. So anyway, I think it's a fantastic program for tracking your trades. You can search what has gold done for me this year and how's that performing? What has gold done using the Simple Switch strategy box? What has gold done using red light, green light? What has, I can ask it those questions and it can give me all those different, all that different information and all those answers. So what, the days of the week that I have to bet, my hold times, like what happened in the charts when I was trading them. There's so much information I can get. Okay, so here now I'm in the My Strategy Manager and Builder tool. Got this home page, basically says, make sure I validate any data that's in here before making a decision and only make my decisions based on information that I have validated. And then, if I need help with anything, I can always send an email. And each one of these pages has an instruction video on it to help teach me how to use it if I'm not sure. So first page I'm going to get into is the trade plan workbook. Then I'm going to move through the strategy workbook, and then these really cool calculators that help me throughout the entire process, especially this futures calculator right here, where let's say, right now I have the ES, but let's say gold, because that's one thing that I'm trading a lot. One contract, I think the move is about a $60 move, and that would be a $6,000 risk. Whoa, I can't afford that. What happens if I go over to MGC? At $600 risk, okay, that's a little more affordable. I can do that. Or I can come down here with gold and say the entry price right now is 2,500. My stop is going to be at 2,450, and I'm going to have one contract. That means I could lose 50 points on that move and $5,000. No, too much. So let's go look what MGC shows me. Yeah, $500. I can afford that based on my trade plan. So a really awesome calculator to help me out. And then a really cool features down here. If I only need like $300 left to pass my combine, I can come over here and say, I'm in gold. I want to make $300 today. And that's a $3 move with one contract. And the move I'm looking at might be a $6 move. So now I can put my target at half of that move and have a much higher chance of hitting that target, passing my combine without extending my my risk, because once I've hit my target of my combine, I don't need to stay in it anymore. I need to get out. So that kind of helps me understand that. So really cool calculator here for the futures market, but additional calculators for other equities, swing trading, day trading, and stuff like that. And again, with instruction videos to show me how to use it. All right, so now that I filled out all the information in the trade plan workbook, that gave me all the data. It returned me all the data and let me visualize what it is I need to do to create my strategies for this year. Went through the strategy workbook. That gave me all the information I needed to do and to know in order to be able to develop my strategy. So strategies are developed. All right, so a trade plan and a strategy are two very different things. The trade plan is your roadmap. It's where you're going. The strategy is how you're going to get there. And the strategy has to fit your trade plan. If you're going off-road, you need an off-road vehicle. If you're driving through the city, maybe you need a city vehicle. The trade plan is your GPS. It is your roadmap. It is your pathway to that goal that you have. The strategy is the method of how you're going to achieve that goal and travel down that path. Both of them need to fit each other. I'm going to trade gold, the YM Dow Jones, and wheat. Okay, so the next thing I needed to do was to set up my backtest block so I can validate the strategy that I plan to use. And then based on the data that these backtest blocks provide me, I can tweak that strategy to find out what is going to give me the most profitability within my trading system, my trade plan, and how does that all fit with my trading personality, time frames, the whole nine, all that good stuff. I'll use this to refine it to give me the most profitability. And as we come down here, you can see where I can put in my, so let's just do a quick little example here. You can see where we have some winners and some losers. So if I have 4 winners and 2 losers, 2 of those winners have to pay for those losers if it's a risk one to make one, which leaves me with 2. So over here, if I was trading, say risking $500 per trade, then that would give me $1,000 over this time frame here that I would get to take home. But if I was copy trading that on 5 accounts, then I would click number 5 over here, and I could see that that same $500 per trade could actually make me $5,000 in this same time frame because of the 5 accounts copy trading. So pretty sweet. So then once I get my back test all set up, I will come down here, put in GC, this is for the gold chart, and I'm putting in GC on 3 different columns because I'll show you up here. This one is per trade. This one is going to be the risk reward because I'm actually going to be risk rewarding more than a 1-to-1 on some of my trades. I have 2 setups for gold there. So each one will reflect each one of those setups. And then over here, I'll be looking at the another setup potential that I'll be doing, which is a continuation trade. And then a per day when all these are tallied up, what did the day look like? So that's why I have all these different columns. Down here, I created a tab for each ticker I'll be trading. So I just need to rename this one, rename, and that is going to be ZW. Oops, I don't want to do that. No. All right, I'll just do it this way. Tracker, back test, and then ZW. All right, there we go. So each one of my backtest pages has its own ticker, just to make it easy for me to look at. If I wanted to, I could create another one of these backtest tracker pages and then display all three of these things into one page. But this is the way I like to do it. So going back to GC, so I'll be ready down here. So once my backtest is done, like right here, I got 4 and 2. Let's say that was done. I'll put 4 and then 2. And then from there, I can start tracking. So here, if it shows that I got a 66% win rate, then going forward, I can track down here. Do I still have a 66% win rate? Is it better? Is it worse? What's happening with my trading, so that I can identify if a strategy is starting to fail, and I can quickly make adjustments, hit pause, all those things before it damages my account too much. I might think, oh, I'm just in drawdown, but I can look here and see if this success rate is falling below an acceptable threshold. And if it is, then I need to hit pause on that. So anyway, backtest block formatting is done, ready to go. Now I just got to add all the rules in for each one of the strategies, then plug in the charting, and then do my back tests, and then refine it, and then go from there. All right, so now that I went through my backtest blocks, worked out my strategies, everything's locked in, ready to go. Now I need to put together my scaling ladder so I can have proper risk management and protect my account. So I could do this by dollar amounts, start with risking $50 per trade, scale up to 100 and so forth. But I'm not going to do that. This year, I'm going to do it based on percentage, and I'll show you why. Here we are with the scaling ladder based on percentage. So again, I'm in my live account. I'm going to start with $3,000, and I'm going to trade 3 tickers, ZW, YM, and GC. So wheat, the Dow Jones, and corn. I'm going to take my $3,000 and divide it up. I can't have 3 separate accounts, but I can divide the money up here in my scaling ladders and manage each ticker separately. So ZW is going to start with $1,000 allocated, YM will start with $1,000 allocated, and GC will start with $1,000 allocated, giving me the $3,000. And why this is important is because if, let's say I'm doing great with wheat and the Dow Jones, and I'm scaling up my account, but the gold ticker is not doing so great. Do I want to be scaled up? If gold isn't doing that good, it's going to beat my account up more. So, especially let's say I get to the point where I'm risking $500 a trade, but gold's doing, it's good enough to keep it, but it's not good enough to risk $500 a trade. Maybe my success on gold now is down to like 65%, and it's almost time to dump it. And I'm risking $500 per trade with that lower risk reward, when these are, let's say, 75, 80%. It warrants that $500, but this one doesn't. So that's why I'm trading them separately. So the weaker tickers don't drag down the account as much. And if they are performing strong, then they can be a contributor to the account growth. And then that way, overall, I can protect my account. Let the stronger tickers build the account, and the weaker ones won't hurt it so bad. So if I make $300 on this trade, if gold is not performing as well and I only lose $70, not a big deal. But this is also going to let me quickly visualize which one of these tickers is the weakest one. If this is a green bar, so as I start to make money in this account, say 1,500, now you can see the green bars, and this one, say, has 3,000, and maybe this one has, 2,800. It's 2,700, we'll say. So now I can quickly see just visually right away that gold is actually a slacker. Why is gold not doing well? I'm either not getting that many trades in gold, or it's just not performing well. Either way, it's the lagging ticker. And this can bring my attention to it to determine, do I want to do something about this gold ticker? or do I just want to leave it in there and keep on going with it because it's still in the green, which means it's profitable, just not as profitable as these other two. So basically, as my account grows by percentage, I'll get these green bars letting me know where my scaling is. So in this case over here with ZW, I'd be at $227 not to exceed. So sometimes I'll be trading less than that, but I don't want to exceed $227. And the way I do that in the charts is I look and see what my frame out my trade. So I can see where, I know where my entry is, I know where my stop is, and I know where my target is. And if that, and then from there, I can go over to my calculator, go to ZW. Let's do here, ZW, where are you at? All right. And then I can look and see that I have, potentially a $4 move on that trade. I don't want to risk more than 227. And that's an acceptable trade to have one contract. If I was thinking about 3 contracts, I'd be like, no, I can't do 3 contracts. That's $600. I'll be exceeding my risk parameters. 1 contract is what I can do with ZW. So I control my risk by how many contracts I have, not by where my stop is. My stop goes where it's supposed to go, and I control my risk by the contract size that I trade. And now if 1 contract is still too much risk in the minis, then I'll look at the micros. And if that's still too much risk, then I'll have to skip the trade. So here's the thing with ZW though. ZW does not have a micro. And I'm going to be trading this in a 30-minute candle. And based on the charts, I have to be able to accept a 10% risk in order to take any trades. That would be the minimum risk that I would have to accept in ZW in the beginning, because the normal moves, the average move with a 30-minute chart in my strategies is about $100 risk reward. So I'm just going to have to start with the 10% there and put my account at a little more risk exposure. But I'm accepting that because I have an 85% success rate. My probabilities per win is 85% on a 1-to-1 risk reward. So that's fantastic. So having $1,000 in my account, that still allows me to have 10 blowout days. It's just taking 1 trade a day. So it still lets me have 10 blowout days before my account ends up in trouble. And that's the nice thing about prop firms, is unlike a regular broker, I could have 8 late losing days in a row and my buying power is still the same because they're just telling me I can trade 3 contracts. My buying power is not affected. Whereas in a traditional broker or even a discount broker, as I take losses, my account size goes down and that affects my buying power, which could then affect how much I can make in my next trade or lose, which is a good thing, but it could take a really long time to get back. And it may actually drop me right away below my threshold and then I could no longer trade ZW. So my buying power doesn't change. So that allows me to have 10 blowout days before ZW would blow itself out. But it wouldn't blow my account out because I've separated it and it's got its own bucket of money. Just means ZW would be dead in the water, no more trading it until these two made my account whole again, if you will. I've made enough profits in this that I could then revisit and decide whether or not I wanted to take some of the profits from here and shift them over and start ZW again. So this kind of helps keep my account safe if one of these tickers becomes a complete failure right out of the gate, because it won't fail my account. It will only fail that scaling ladder for that ticker. So I'm going to allocate 10% to ZW. And again, 5% in the beginning. And then from there, we're going to scale up to 10% down here. And then I'm going to slowly start to scale down. I want to scale down as my account becomes more profitable. I know this sounds like the opposite. You're supposed to scale up. Your account's growing. You're supposed to risk more and all this stuff that you hear on the internet. And I think all those rules are bogus. That's why I believe breaking the rules is what makes me successful. So I'm going to scale down in percentage of my account, not necessarily in my risk per trade, but the exposure to my account. So right here at 10%, I'll be risking $590, roughly $649 will be the peak. And then I will scale down to 5% and I'll only be risking $357 a trade. Yes, I'm going backwards compared to what most people would say to do, but it's only for a little while. As the account starts to grow again at 5% risk per trade, I'll be back above that $600 marker in no time. And then I'll be scaling down again to 4%, and then scaling again at 3%, 2%, all the way down to 1% risk on my account. Once I get down to the risking 1% of my account, traders, this becomes really like, this is where trading actually becomes not fun anymore, because risking 1% of my account with $157,000, $160,000 in my account. So if I have $160,000 and I risk $1,587 at the most, so reality is I'll probably risk $1,500 because it's not to exceed $1,587. I would have to have 106 losing trades before this ticker goes down. My account's still doing good over here. So right now, when I get to this level right here, let me do this so I can highlight this real quick. Review, unprotect. All right, you can kind of see that bar right there. Once I get, actually, let me do this. Home, let's go with, not that. All right, so you can see where I'm at. So once I get to this level here in my account, I got 267,000 allocated for that ticker, 160,000 for this ticker, and 160 for this ticker. So I have a pretty big account once I get to this spot. Tickers are still divided, and then risking that 1% here with $160,000 allocated to this one ticker, that lets me risk $1,500 basically per trade. So I would need to have 106 losing trades. If I'm only taking 1 to 2 trades a day, I got to have 100 days of losing, 50 to 100 days of losing. That's almost 4 months of never having a winner. And then that really only affects this one ticker. And in reality, and then I still have the other 2 tickers growing my account as well. So in reality, my account is much larger and I'm risking 3% roughly in a trading day. But still, 3% in a trading day is still going to be about 97 losing days. So when I need to have 97 losing days without a winning day to blow my account, there's really no worry trading. Like, it just becomes very robotic, very boring, just kind of the thing you do. You go in the room, you look at the thing, you push the button, you walk out, and you print money. So it just becomes boring, though. That's the downside. When you're in the pocket way up here, and your account is still, really protected. Yeah. So even in this area right here, I'm still looking at 40 to 50 trades before I really, blow my accounts. So as long as my emotional fitness can keep me from casino trading and stick with these ranges, then it should be no stress trading for the rest of the year. As long as I'm with these risks, it should be easy to put a trade on, let it run its course, and do its thing. The hard part now is like saying, well, I really want to make some money. I really want to make money. Can't make any money with $50. Like, what's that going to buy me? And that's the hardest part. And then having that desire to, I'm just going to buy 5 contracts so I can make $1,000 today because I want money. And when I trade for money, I usually don't have any. When I just trade the plan, money is usually a side effect. And that's the focus that I need to be on. I can't be casino trading or risking more than my trade plan. I put my trade plan together when I was my mind was in a good spot and I wasn't emotional, and I need to stick with that. But what this scaling ladder lets me do, though, is come down here and say, there's 10 trades because there's a white bar, and you can see right here, 10, 20, 30, take home. Once I've taken home 30 trades, I'm making $400 per trade on that 1/6 there. That's almost $2,000 a day. So I could be making almost $10,000 a week once I get to this 30 trade marker. So I just got to put the numbers in and go from there. One of the reasons to start small, at $50 down here, is because I want to make sure what I'm going to be doing is actually going to work. I tested it. I've already done it. It seems good. But I want to start the year off being conservative, protecting my money. I don't want to start the year off in a bad emotional state. So $50 is a good place for me. And then from there, I'll scale up from there. If not, if I was feeling good, maybe I didn't worry about it. Maybe $100 would be better. But my account only has $1,000 here. So I'd rather start off with the low stress and then just let it build from there and carry low stress all year long. So as my trades carry out, I'll put my notes in. I'll be dropping charts in here. That's why I have that folder for charts. So I can take a screenshot of my charts every day, drop them in here with notes about the trade for my journal. And then I can easily quickly click and reference my charting of what took place on that day. Then I have this page. Once things actually get rolling, I'll be able to come in here, drop in what my profits were for the month. Let's say it's $5,000. And I already have this pre-populated on this side, so I know what to do with my money on this side over here on the right side. So 40% in taxes, I need to allocate my payout of at the end of the month for $2,000 there, $1,000 for bills, all the different stuff. So I have this all laid out. I just got to come up here and adjust my trade times and make that more accurately reflect. And once I get rolling, this will automatically populate from my trade plan, those other tabs that were earlier on. This will start automatically populating from there, so I can easily track what's going on with my business plan and where my money needs to go as I start taking payouts. And then here's my calendar page. Once I start taking those payouts, I can put in the description, I can put in the payout, and then it'll show me up there, say I took a payout of $100, and then I can see what's going on up here and track my my payout totals. But I can also track my daily profits in here as well and divide them up over what my ticker is. I can put what GC gave me, and then I can see what each ticker is giving me on those days. So I have all these winnings, and right here YM gave me a red trade, but still a green day. And then I took a payout on this day of $200. So this is kind of just my calendar, so I can go back throughout the year and kind of keep track of what's going on and see what's up. It's just a nice snapshot to remember. When did I take that payout again, or when was this look like? And I can see what my months look like. Over in Trader View, I'll have a nice calendar as well. It just won't be as detailed for my payouts or any kind of notes that I want to put in this little pockets here. So definitely a handy little piece. And then this Excel document has 2 more pages for Trader View to help me with inputs and stuff like that, especially when I'm taking payouts. So little assistive pages there. But yeah, so that's basically it in a nutshell. That's the rough of my trade plan for 2025. I'm going to start out like that. There's a lot of details that go into the trade plan workbook and, personality and like all these things that have to be there to build a trade plan. I won't bore you with that in this video. And then in my next video, I'm going to go over my strategies to start 2025. And then as I use this tool to monitor those strategies, you'll see how this thing works in a lot more detail throughout the year as it's being used. And then you'll also see how if a strategy starts to fail or I'm starting to fail with that strategy, the strategy might be great. It just might not be great for me. You'll see how I identify it, how I use this tool to adjust it and keep right on going on track. But I wanted to give you a quick highlight of what the year is going to look like, the tools that I'm using, and then throughout the year, you'll see those tools in use. So look for my next video, my 2025 strategies, and then between the two, you'll have a full picture of what I'm doing in 2025. All right, traders, see you on the next video. And again, links in the description where you can get this My Strategy Manager and Builder, as well as a link over to Trader View. And using those links definitely helps me and my channel, so I appreciate it greatly if you're interested in exploring those things. And I will see you on the next trade.